Hello everybody, it's your mad mother of the internet here with another What's the Brew Boo. This is the video series where I take a little bit of what's going on in the internet and break it down for ya. So, what's in this episode? Well, the title should give you a hint. Let's roll the intro and get this ball rolling. Yep, we're talking about her. But before I get to the meat and potatoes, let it be known that there is way more to the story than Kyle here is telling us. As a matter of fact, there is this statement I found in the internet from him as to what happened before he turned on his camera. Like always, there is more to the story. Yes, I'm using Karen and Kyle. Yes, I am aware her information has already been released and he has already been interviewed. You can find their names if you wish. You just won't find them in this video. This starts out as your usual, this is what happened to me post. What we don't have is an explanation as to his tone or volume. We can assume that he was calm when approaching the woman. He is telling her about the park policy for dogs when they're not in the run. It sounds reasonable. Now we put in a little he said, she said. Let's take a look at the bush remark. Before we get to the exchange, if you're in a high crime area and someone comes out of a bush talking to you, how would you react? Now add to that, he was running before he came through the bush. You will already be on edge. A perfect stranger seems to be running in your direction. You would be a bit guarded as well. I know I would be, no matter the skin color. She said he was yelling, he said he was calm. Just so you are aware, before the lockdown in New York, crime in Central Park was on the rise. I digress. Here is this man's accounting of what happened. Here's where we can say the tone changes. I'm going to do what I want, but you're not going to like it. This can be taken as a veiled threat. We now, from further investigation, discover that he carries dog treats. This is where the normal reaction would be, who does this? This is inviting trouble. You don't know the person whose dog you're luring away. You have no clue of the temperament or how they will respond to when someone is trying to lure their dog from their side. Furthermore, how does she know he isn't trying to snatch the dog? And this is when he turned on the camera. Not when he was trying to lure the dog. Not when he first spotted her with the dog off the leash. He turned on the camera after he tried to lure the dog. He did it after he had agitated her. This is why I ask for more information when I see video clips on the internet about horrific or racist events. So, let's break this down. He spots her with the dog off the leash. He comes from across a field, according to her, to tell her about park policy. She comes up with an excuse. He threatens to and proceeds to try to lure her dog from her to prove a point. After she yells at him to not touch her dog, he starts recording. She walks up to him in the video. She calls the police on the man, calling him an African American and accuses him of threatening her and her dog. Let's watch the video in all its glory. Oh, I transcribed the audio. You're welcome.
Would you please stop? Sir, I'm asking you to stop.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to
And
me.
I'm taking a picture and calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, I'm in the ramble, and there is a man, African American, he has a bicycle helmet. He is recording me and threatening me and my dog. There is an African American man, I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog. I'm sorry, I can't hear you either. I'm being threatened by a man in the ramble. Please send the cops immediately. I'm in Central Park in the ramble. I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't know her. I can't say. However, that being said, she did tell him she would call the police and tell them an African American man was threatening her. She started the call by calling him that and said what she said. There's no mistaking she overreacted. Should she have called them? I don't think it warranted a 911 call. When you're calling 911, they will ask you what the emergency is and then the description of the person they're reporting. Maybe she said African American instead of black man. De Blasio isn't helping, though. Screw the crime rate. Screw the fact that Central Park is notorious for having incidents happen. She called the cops because she's racist. It wasn't because she was approached from out of nowhere by someone she didn't know in the park telling her to leash her dog. It wasn't because he tried to lure the dog to him by offering treats. No, none of that. It's because he's black. She did go on to say she was panicked because she didn't know what was in the dog treats. That apprehension would be reasonable. But, and there is a but, instead of trying to keep calm and talking it out, she overreacted. She was over the top with the way she handled it on her end. Well, for trying to enforce park policy, yes, our Kyle was in the right. For approaching the lady, trying to lure the dog to him, and then waiting until she pulls her dog back toward her to then turn on the camera and record the incident. New York is a one-party state where privacy is not assumed to be a thing. But it is shady on his part to have turned on the camera after he tried to lure the dog away from its owner and after his initial interaction. If he was going to record the confrontation, he should have covered it all, not just the part that made Karen look like a racist. Karen was doxxed to the point where they found her place of employment. She was fired, by the way. She did apologize. Yes, everyone that's been offended sticks in my craw like a burr in a saddle. She could have left that out. She also went on to say how privileged she was, how virtuous of her. The dog is back at the rescue. As you can imagine, people were outraged by the way she treated a dog during the incident. I can't blame them. I was upset as well. She had the leash and could have leashed him at any moment, but she decided to ragdoll the poor thing while trying to call the police and causing a scene. You had the leash right there. You couldn't have put the leash on the dog? When people were more pissed off at what you were doing with the dog than what you did with the dude on the video. Can't blame them. That dog definitely was not comfortable. That dog did not want to be in that situation. Twitter was abuzz with people calling for Karen's head. I saw a couple of tweets from people saying they've either seen her or walked her dog at one point or another. There are also people saying the fact that she used the term African American in the phone call was a white supremacist dog whistle of some sort. And she said it that way to bring the cops faster. I'm just going to take a sip of this. So, what should she have called him when she was hysterical and being histrionic? She probably would have been labeled a racist if she used person of color or black man. I will state one more time for the people in the back. When you call 911, they will ask you what the emergency is, and if the emergency is a perceived crime, they will ask for a description of the perpetrator. Plain and simple. Yes, she completely overreacted. There's no overlooking that. She was way over the fucking top with that shit. Does she need to lose her damn job? I don't think she does. No, not for overreacting. She may have deserved being let go for the way she treated her dog on camera. On the clock or not. If you are an employee of a company, your actions off the clock also represent the company. So if you fuck up, people will inquire as to why a company would have someone of that nature as an employee. They are both at fault here in one way or the other. And I'm not going to address, Kyle's asking her to leash the dog. I mean, if that's part policy, that's part policy. The timing, the way he approached her, trying to lure her dog away, that was stupidity. That was stupidity. If you were in a field and you were within hollers shot, because obviously you were within eye distance to know that that dog wasn't on a leash. You could have kept your distance instead of approaching her, gotten her attention for where you were standing and said, "Can you leash the dog, please? This is not the dog run. In the ramble, you're supposed to have your dog on the leash." Or something to that effect. I think, in my personal opinion, that he started recording when he started recording on purpose. Not as an afterthought, not as maybe I should record this in case something happens and she decides to call the police, which she did. Now, she did say that she was going to call the police and say that an African American man was threatening her. She's a white woman in a highly politically charged climate. Whether she would have called him African American, person of color, black, any other descriptor you want of somebody of a brown type of complexion, she probably would have been called a racist because of the timing of the recording of the video, only showing her flipping the fuck out. If I am in a high crime area walking my dog, first of all, I'm not going to be anywhere in a high crime fucking area walking my dog by myself. I'll have my husband with me. I'll wait for Ronan to get home to, venture off somewhere where I haven't been before that's, questionable in its crime rate. Central Park is infamous for having a high crime rate. She's there by herself. She's already probably hyper aware. Okay? I particularly don't think that she was racist. Somebody's running at you through a bush to tell you to leash your dog. And then they try to lure your dog away. First of all, when they reach into their pocket after they said, "I'm going to do what I want to do and you're not going to like it," they could have been pulling out a knife. They could have been pulling out a firearm. Some other weapon to possibly mug her. Then he went to lure the dog away to prove a point. You're proving you're an asshole. I'll give you that one. You're proving you're an asshole. You don't know her from Shanola and she don't know you from shit. So she don't know if those dog treats are laced with anything. She don't know if you're trying to kidnap her dog. 2 more reasons to put her on edge and to heighten anxiety in the situation. It wouldn't have mattered to her if you were calm or not. Yeah, she flipped out. She over fucking reacted. There's no way. I mean, she just went over the top with the bullshit. But when you're in a situation where somebody is approaching you that you don't know, in a place that is infamous for its crime rate, you're going to be anxious. You're going to be hyper aware. You're going to be, in high stress mode. You're going to be hyper vigilant. You're going to be suspicious of everything and everyone around you. That's just my 2 cents. Maybe I'm wrong. And that's another What's the Brew Boo in the can. If you agreed with me or disagreed with me, there are like and dislike buttons. Don't forget that subscribe button. If it's bright red, I'm not going to give you the instructions, but there's also a bell next to it just in case. The description has the links of where I found all of this lovely information. If you want to holler at me in the comments section, the only comments that I do not allow to be published are obvious spam. So if you want to troll me, troll me. If you want to call me all kinds of names, call me all kinds of names. I give a crap less. In the description, with the ways to support me, is coffee, and also I'm a humble partner and things of that nature. So, take a look around. You might find something you like. And there's also a blog there you can follow too. So until next time, my friends, keep the brew strong, keep the eyes open, and keep your perspective in check. Catch you guys later.